Okay, folks, Stan Baker with Hunt the Racket. Dude, we've got a real treat here today. I'm out at my gun club, Golden, in Watkins, Colorado. And I've been shooting now a year and a half, as you guys know. And every morning I come out and I happen to notice these gentlemen every morning at the same time. And I got kind of curious and introduced myself the other day and asked them, how long have you guys been shooting trap? And with that, I'm going to introduce these gentlemen. Ted, what's your last name?
Okuno.
Okuno, Ted Okuno.
Jack.
Richie.
Bob Shadler.
Bruce Benson.
Bruce Benson. You know, these guys have been shooting. How long have you guys been shooting, Ted? How long have you been
I
shooting?
don't know, about 55 years maybe.
55 years. Jack?
I'd say close to 60.
60 years.
Oh, probably about 20.
20?
Yeah, I've been shooting a good 60 years. I'm a duck hunter.
Yeah. There's a lot of trap shooting wisdom here, and I thought what I'd do is share that, some of this knowledge and wisdom with you guys. Ted, what is the one thing that you would recommend? Let's say I'm a beginner and I'm just now starting to get involved in trap. What's the most important thing could you recommend to a beginner trap shooter?
Well, for a beginner, I'll have them stay in the center,
Right.
and then I'll have them shoot the straightaways.
So you begin at post 3,
Yeah.
so they get more of that straightaway
Right.
kind of look on the bird. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything about guns or gun fits or you would
Well,
recommend?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
There's, if you shoot the gun well, you could shoot it
Right.
for trap.
Right.
Yeah.
So you
So-
think it's more of an individual type situation?
Yeah.
Okay. Jack, how about you?
Oh, first off, I think I'd start with get a good instructor to go
Right.
start.
Right?
And then once I had shot a few rounds, I would get a gun fit to suit me.
To suit you.
Right.
Okay.
Because I think back and I wish I would have done that.
Right. I think we all are guilty of that, where we get all fired up about doing something and we'll go out and just buy a gun, bring it out to the range and start shooting, and it's a lot of fun, don't get me wrong, but over time you get a little frustrated because you're not hitting all the birds that you want to hit.
Right.
So I think that is one of the common themes that we've been hearing from all the professional All-Americans and all that is gun fit is very important. And you guys know that I just bought that new Kohler, and you're following me on the journey of trying to shoot that gun well. And I've been struggling a little bit with handicap, and the gun fits perfect for me, but I'm trying to get used to the swing of it versus my old gun. So we'll be sharing that with you here in the very near future. Bob, what would you say is probably the most important thing a beginner in trap might want to do when he's learning?
When you're learning, for me, it's getting on the gun. Once you find a gun that fits you,
Right.
get on the gun exactly the same way every single time without exception. And that's something you can practice at home,
Right.
but
So you're saying
Get
the
it-
gun mount,
gun mount,
the approach to the bird.
once you get a gun that fits, you have to practice mounting that gun exactly the same way every single time.
It's almost like you're a robot. You know, once you get into that routine, it feels comfortable. And every now and then, when you bring that gun up and you haven't done the right thing every time, it feels different. And at that point, you're probably better off just dismounting and starting that approach of the bird all over again. And what would you say?
I basically think it's good to get a good instructor. My instructor was my dad, and basically how I got started is I went duck hunting, goose hunting, and pheasant hunting, and it was just not too far away from Brighton. We had to go fishing, hunting there, so I just followed my dad, followed instructions, and kept doing that. And the purpose of me being out here is, one, I want to be a better hunter. And
Right.
and the other thing is the fellowship behind it. I like the idea of talking to people who have the same idea I have and think the same way I think. And I sort of enjoy reloading shells because that's another hobby of its own. So that's how I approach it. I used to shoot ATA shoots, and I did okay, but I'm getting too old to do that now. And I just come out here for the fun of shooting, and hopefully I can do good when I start dove hunting.
You know, we've talked about this friendship, fellowship. You know, when you come out here on the trap range, it's really amazing how you meet people, you build new friendships. And speaking of friendships, one of the things, how long have you two guys been shooting together?
Since probably, we're close to 60 years.
Yeah.
Close to 60 years.
Yeah, because we both shot ATA.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
And
And you guys, have you been shooting with them long?
Oh, I'm the rookie of the bunch.
Right.
I've been coming out, 4 or 5 years, I guess.
Yeah.
He's the rookie at 4 or 5 years. so-
Yeah, I was a member of the Golden Gun Club when it was in Golden.
Yeah.
And so I helped them move out here, and we always kept saying, oh my gosh, the drive is ridiculous to drive
Yeah.
out here. But the further you get away from town and all that, the more chance of having a place to shoot and
Right.
stay there.
Right.
And
You know,
I
Ned, you-
used to be a member of Buckley, and I did a lot of shooting with them until they closed down. But once they closed down, it's over with.
You know, you've answered the question I always ask, why is this place called Golden? We have a Golden, Colorado, yet this trap range and skeet range is situated in Watkins, Colorado. So you just answered my question on that. Well, folks, there you have it. 60 years of shooting. There's a lot of wisdom here. Do you guys shoot ATA shoots anymore?
no,
Ted, I saw you out there on the line on an ATA
Well,
shoot not
yeah.
too long ago.
Yeah, that was last year though.
And how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, 89.
He's 89 years old, and he was out there. I remember seeing him on the line shooting, and you know what? He did pretty darn good. So there you have it, folks. We're having a great time out here on the trap line. Friendships are being built. I'm sure I'm going to be friends with these guys for quite some time, and we'll see you at the racket. Okay, folks, what I thought we'd do right now is I'm going to give you a little update on my Kohler. Okay, I've got roughly 2,200 rounds through it, and I am smoking singles. We've got it zeroed in on singles. I think I've missed maybe 3 out of 600. So this thing really does crank them. Shooting a full choke with it, and it's really dialed in. My doubles just came around. We're shooting 48s and 49s consistently. However, I'm struggling just a little bit with handicap. Thought I had it figured out with shooting 24s, 25s, 96s, and then all of a sudden I'm struggling with straightaway birds. So what I thought I'd do is maybe shoot around for the camera, and we'll see if we can't capture what it is I'm doing wrong, if I'm lifting my head, or maybe I need to readjust the gun, I'm not sure. But we're shooting 22s now all of a sudden, and I'm getting a little worried, but I don't think it's anything that we can't figure out. So with that, I'm gonna hit the line and see if I can't go straight here. Okay, that was a sharp left bird from post 1. And what I did was I swung out in front of it and stopped. So one of the things we need to remember is that when you get that gun moving, make sure you keep it moving. Don't pull that trigger and look up and stop the swing. You see, that time the bird came out sharp, followed through with the bird and kept the gun moving, and we just smoked it. This is really where the problem is. When I'm on post 3, and for some reason, I'm on a straightaway, I'm missing these birds, and I really don't know why, which normally means I'm lifting my head. So hopefully the camera will be able to capture it if I do it. The quarter lefts are giving me a little problem, but It's primarily the straightaways. Ah. Ah. Now there it was, straight away. I think what happened is I actually blocked the bird out. When I shot, I wasn't seeing the bird. So remember what Marshall said, and that is see the bird. So let's see if I can't do a little better here. Ah. Ah. That was a straightaway. Okay, we're on station 5 now. Let's see. Been having a little problems with the sharp right, so let's see if I can't hit these. Ah. Ah. Okay, folks, I got to tell you something. I'm really excited about this gun. It is such a dream to shoot this thing. I mean, it is so well balanced. You can see that, and it swings light. It's a very well-made gun. One of the things that I found I was doing, you know, with the new gun, you're going to have a time at which you've got to get used to it, you know, your timing and what have you. I think I missed 3 birds out of that box, and one of the birds, which was a straightaway on post 3, what I was doing is blocking that bird. So with this rib, you know, that lead going up is built in. So when I shoot, I should be seeing that bird. So I should be just a tad bit underneath it and be looking at that bird when I when I pull the trigger. So I did that. The other thing that I found myself doing was stopping my swing. And I think that has something to do with the new gun and the timing and what have you. Stopping your swing is very similar to lifting your head. And in a lot of occasions, you'll find that you do both. And the reason you stop your swing is that you're looking up and see if you hit the bird. So I may have been doing that. We'll capture that on film, hopefully. But those are the 2 main things that I'm looking for. I'm still trying to get used to the gun in handicap. This Sunday, I'll be shooting a round or an ATA shoot in Pueblo, Colorado. And that'll be my first meet with the new gun. But it is a dream gun to shoot. Doubles is just so much fun. That second bird, it's just so easy to get to that second bird and powder it. So with that, we'll see you at the racket. Okay, folks, I got some exciting news to share with you. Last Sunday, I went to the trap shoot in Pueblo, and when I first got there, you know, this is the first time I'm going to shoot the new Kohler. I've got about 2,200 rounds in it by the time I get there. Still not 100% sure, but the gun shoots like a dream. They informed me that the first event was doubles, so I was a little apprehensive, but when we got to the line, all of a sudden I got really relaxed. I shot that the first double, the first pair, and just did a tremendous job, felt loose and all that. And yours truly ran the first 100 in doubles that he's ever run. First event with the gun, with the Kohler. Unbelievable. I just can't say enough about this gun. It swings so nice for doubles. It's so well balanced. It swings fast. You can come around and get that second bird. Just, it's so sweet. Hey folks, I'd like to share with you a problem I've had here just recently. I have a hard time shooting that high bird. I think we all can relate to that. Some of us shoot high birds well, some of us shoot flat birds well. But in my case, the high bird is kind of stumping me, especially on handicap. So I called my trusted friend, Richard Marshall Jr., and he told me, he says, Stan, you're gonna learn to shoot all the birds. Shoot the flat birds, you gotta shoot the high birds. Sometimes you're gonna have a north wind and that bird will come out and just start climbing. So what I did, now this worked for me and I'm not sure it would work for everyone, but I'm gonna share it with you. I came out to the range on a windy day, had a north wind, cranked that house up a little bit, and I mean, that bird came out, it was probably 20 feet high, you know, by the time it traveled about 30 feet. So what I did, I'm shooting at the 27, so what I did is I brought the trap house up just a little bit by raising my gun, and I just wanted to imagine that trap house was maybe 2 or 3 feet a little bit higher. And then what I'd do is I'd call for the bird, let the bird go by, get on it and shoot, just like I do regularly when I'm holding down on the house. And I gotta tell you, it really did work. I shot a couple 24s and a couple 25s. We're gonna shoot a little more today just to make sure it wasn't something new and an anomaly. And we can be pretty consistent with it. So we're gonna share that with you as I'm shooting. But remember, these tips that I'm giving you may work for you, they may not. Try them. If they don't work, trash them, forget about them. If they work, you solve the problem. So I like flat birds and I shoot flat birds a lot better than I do high birds. But now I think I discovered a way to actually shoot those high birds, and it's a lot of fun hitting those birds. So I'm gonna give it a whirl on the trap range. We're gonna show it to you here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna shoot a couple birds for you. I'm gonna hold maybe an inch off of the corner and come up maybe 2-3 inches off the house. I'm gonna draw a straight line across just like it's like the house. I'm gonna let that bird come up and follow it with my eyes and let her rip. Let's see how we do. Not bad. That really does work. Okay, what you saw there was I set up right, my good footwork. We held a little bit high on the house and we just drew us that straight line and nice and smooth move to the bird, boom, powder. The last bird that I shot, I was thinking more of the camera than I was of the bird. So I jumped it and shot just above it. So we're gonna go to station 4. I'll hold somewhere between the middle of the house and the right corner. Bring that gun up a couple inches and see how we do. Okay, that time we did pretty good. We ran 5 in a row. Remember to keep your eyes, both eyes open. Remember, keep that barrel still, your eyes still on your hold point. Bring that gun up just a tad, maybe 2-3 inches off the house, call for the bird, and slowly move to that bird, nice and smooth to the bird, and let her rip. Let's try station 5. I'll hold just to the right of the corner and up maybe 2 feet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that time we did fairly well. We hit them all. I hold typically about 3 inches off the corner of the right corner, and that gets me ready for that sharp right bird. I can get a pretty good move on it and see it pretty well. Again, because these birds are high, I held about 3 inches off the house, maybe 3 feet. Again, that's your starting point from the trap house. If you shoot it like it's just coming right out of the trap house, you'll do a lot better. Now again, this only applies to, if it works, use it. This is what I did to counteract my poor shooting with a high bird at meet in the handicap. We'll see you at the racket. Okay folks, here we are. It's June 27th. We're back at Golden. We're getting ready to go to the Heartland Grand on Monday and try to chase some of those All-American vet points. But since we were here, I thought we have some great shooters. Mr. Scott Obenchain and Paul Dibble, both are on the Colorado State team. Scott is an All-American and always seems to be on the All-American list every year that I can see. What we're going to do is ask them, what are the 2 most important things you think a beginner needs to know when he starts shooting trap? Paul, you go ahead and start first.
I'd say the single most important thing is to keep it fun. Hit the targets, enjoy what you're doing. The 2 other things is work on focus. And consistency. Mount your gun, when to breathe. Your focus and your consistency with the fun will drive you in a great sport that'll last for years.
So you're talking about the fundamentals, basically.
The basic fundamentals.
Right. Scott, what do you think?
I agree with Paul. The consistency is the major thing in what you're doing all the time. No matter what you're doing, it's consistency.
How important do you think gun fit is in the
It is
equation?
very important. A gun that's not right, that it hurts, is not going to be good to shoot.
Okay.
You have to have a proper fit gun, proper weight, proper size, everything.
When you see your children and women beginner shooters, you really see it in them.
Right.
When their head's getting knocked off the gun and there's that fun element is gone. That's part of the fun, is a good fit.
So there you have it. What we're seeing is a pattern after all these people that we've interviewed. What's the number 1 thing? Have fun. Number 2, fundamentals. And number 3, good gun fit. With that, we'll see you at the racket. Okay folks, while we're waiting to shoot doubles, I thought we'd talk a little bit about those Kohlers, huh?
I think it's, obviously I'm wearing a Kohler hat, but I've had numerous different guns. Sights is everything, and nothing feels as natural to swing as my Kohler. And I mean that sincerely. My scores have been much more consistent over the years. I don't even worry about the gun not functioning. You just pick it up and you shoot it.
And I got to tell you, Glenn here, how many strings of 100s did you put together? Maybe, I think it was 6. And now we interviewed him on the 7th one, last bird, oops.
Yeah, and then I haven't shot well since.
No, but he's really doing well with his Kohler. How long have you had that Kohler?
I've had it about 5 years.
5 years. Now I just got mine, and I got to tell you, what he's saying is absolutely the case. The gun feels heavy, real well put together, but swings light. And like I was talking, we shot the first 100 in doubles ever with that gun. And Glenn, you're my witness.
Yeah,
You're
he
on
didn't
the-
shoot him, he crushed him.
So
he
it-
literally crushed him, and it was a smile from here to here, and which is well deserved. But
I got to tell you, the last two rounds, I was shaking, and I was telling myself I've got to hit these birds, and we were lucky enough to do it. But anyway, the Kohler it swings real quick, and really you can get into a rhythm, and it's just an
not
incredible.
only that, it's truthfully well made. The locking bolts are a 1/4 of an inch thick. I've never had one issue with functionality with the gun. The trigger comes out easily clean, but it's overall not only a well-made gun, but in my mind, it's a made in the USA, and I like that.
Yeah, that is when I was deciding on a gun, not only was it Ricky who, told me, Richard Marshall Jr., who had good things to say about it, but I love the idea that it was made in America, and I've got someone to call, and there's accountability. So with that, my friend, good shooting with the Kohler. We're gonna do some doubles, and we want you to stay tuned. All right, we just got done with doubles, and we have some great news. Glenn here, you keep climbing. I mean, you shot a 90?
A 90.
What was your score?
It was a 90. I'm getting better. I'm moving up. A lot of kudos to my gun. But this guy shot a 49 out of the first 50 and was cranking. And he's been doing it quite a bit. So even this guy was pretty good too.
Yep. Jesse here. What class are you in, Jesse?
C.
Class C. Jesse's probably one of the top C shooters. He's been out of the sport for a while because of personal issues, with some health issues in his family. But he has since come back. He broke a 98 today
I did.
in singles. How'd you do in those caps?
95.
95 in caps?
Woo.
All right. We're going to go to Iowa now with Jeff and see what he's up to. But we'll see you at Hunt the Racket.